Okay, I feel like this was like the abandonment issues episode of Severance. Like, everybody is alone, everybody is getting left behind. So we see Helena with her dad, James Egan, and he sucks. Duh. And he like wants her to eat raw eggs because he like, I guess, loves horrible things. Actually hilarious because my mom, her mother used to make her drink raw eggs in hot milk, and she hated it and has hated eggs her entire life. Like, I don't know. If you want to make someone hate eggs, that's how you do it. But I guess he liked it because he's like gross and sadistic. We're seeing a very lonely, lonelier than usual Lumen, because you're seeing everybody is isolated. Helly is like, where's Mark? Dylan is unceremoniously dumped by his wife, Dylan Innie, after Audi Dylan learns that she basically cheated on him with his Innie, which is fucked up because, like, imagine. I hate that. I hate it, but I also understand because I have so much empathy for Innie Dylan that Audi Dylan can never have, because the two of them, like, neither can live while the other survives. Hate to reference Harry Potter because I hate that woman. But anyway, so we see Dylan get a taste of love and have it ripped from him. And then we see Audi Irving. We think Bert is like taking him to like be shot. And even Irving feels that way. He did like roll up on him, like, and was in his house with his dog. But he took him in the car and was like taking him away, probably because of what he did to Helena and because of the investigations that he has been undertaking. But Bert actually spares Irving, takes him to the train station, and is like, okay, like, you just can't tell me where you're going. And so begins the saddest sequence I've ever seen. Like, Bert's like, my Innie fell in love with you. Irving's like, I'm ready. And he repeats it so many times. He's like, I'm ready to feel like I've never felt this way before. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. And when I tell you that my heart broke into 9 pieces, severed, it actually unlocked for me something. Like, it made me think about the devastating endings that I have been a part of. And there's like one in particular that I have been thinking a lot and processing. But then there was like another one underneath that I hadn't really, like, I was like, oh God, yikes. And it's kind of getting to me. I'm like, oh my God, this show is getting to me about like all of the different pieces of ourselves and how they fit in to other people's pieces of themselves, some of which are like broken, right? Like, you know, like, I may be a different person than the one that left someone behind, but like the part of me that like loves that person is like still inside me. And I think the Dylan storyline is really kind of getting to that idea, because Dylan was like, I'm gonna go quit, and then Innie Dylan was like, actually, fuck this, I'm gonna quit. Basically, something happened like in Dylan's soul that made him be like, Lumen is not fucking it. It's just not it. My Audi self knows that, and my Innie self knows that. Same thing with Mark. Mark can tell that, like, things have not been right. He felt it on the outside and he felt it on the inside. Yeah, it probably took him reintegrating to be able to access that, like, feeling so strongly, because that's what happens when you sever you're severing people so they can't connect to their intuition. Like, the part of them that is intuitively understanding things is harder to access when they're turned off and they're not present for like half the day, right? Like, that's not how we're supposed to be. But oh God, the idea of Audi Irving not like experiencing love. Okay, but first of all, didn't we hear that he was good at making love during his, like, was that a lie? Was it a lie that he's good at making love? He probably was really good at making love. He probably just had never experienced like deep soul love before. But yeah, the Dylan storyline broke my heart, because none of these Innies are experiencing the love that they need. And Helena, you know, is very sad because she neither experiences, like, she may have experienced the most amount of love with Mark and like Dylan and Irving. Like, and also, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen with James. He's like, you tricked me. Helly's like, what the fuck? So we'll see. I'm super excited. I'm really happy that Devin and Mark are working together now. I trust Miss Cobell, which is crazy. I trust her. Um, yeah, I never like really like last week's episode was wild. And then we even saw Miss Huang. Miss Huang was taken away, and Milchick was completely alone, and he was so alone and so scared. You see him really kind of crumble in on himself. But he still has that dignity at the end of the day to tell Drummond to go fuck himself. Like, you know, like I really like empathize with that character because you get the sense that he had no choice over the position that he's in, and he really is trying to make the best of it, and that he is like actually somehow like in his limited capacity trying to be kind. And now we're witnessing him having to turn against his own ethic, and that's like really fucking him up. He's acting out in ways that we had never seen him act before. We had never seen him be mean, and then he was mean as hell to Mark. Like, and then he spoke back to Mr. Drummond. He's like actually like losing his shit. And it's like because he's having to surrender the parts of himself that are making him him. And when we give up these parts of ourselves, like, what then happens to us? How good are we able to be to each other or for each other? I mean, we're seeing like the lack of empathy that Lumen has. Where does that come from? And they're sending Miss Huang to an empathy center? I do not want to know what happens there. Maybe it's like the de-empathy center. But yeah, I think that's all I have for now. Thanks for listening.